You know, so there's always something there.
Right.
All they have to do is make an appointment, come and talk to us.
Larry, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that's really rewarding in our business is sometimes, you know, we have people come in, they can't buy, they're not ready to buy. We closed a loan several weeks ago. We'd worked with the borrower for 3 years. We'd met with them periodically. We would pull the new credit report, would tell them what they need to do to get ready to buy, and it's a long process, but you know, it's really rewarding. One of the things too is if you're in the position that Mary's in and I'm on the loan committee, you know, you do this because you love your work. This is something that's very rewarding emotionally to us. One other thing that I would mention is, you know, in Mary's program, she has a 680 credit score. We can accommodate lower credit scores through the bank, and there's just a lot of programs. Loan pre-qualification is not something you want to try at home. Right. That's why you need to talk to somebody, because there are just a lot of options, and we can help guide them through that process. Another thing that we can do is if somebody comes in and they have a low credit score, we can do what-if scenarios with their credit. Like if they have a high balance on a credit card, we can say, if you pay that down, what will your new credit score be? Or if you've had a delinquency, if you go 6 months without any, how high will it raise your score? It really helps people so they can plan. They can see, okay, if I do these certain things, where will I be? In the past, you know, people come in and would say, well, you've got to pay down your credit card, don't have any delinquencies, come back in 6 months and we'll pull credit again, see where you're at. But right now we can actually go through the scenarios, and if they do what we ask them to do, we can tell them right where their credit score will be.
Now that's through the credit bureau, you're able to achieve that? I mean, because I wasn't aware of that. I mean, I knew that you had to do certain things, but I didn't know if you do this, here's where your credit score would go to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the FICO score, which is it's the barometer that the banks use to qualify a buyer. So that's great.
Yeah. Everything's driven in the lending industry by FICO scores, your credit score, and within the lending industry, there's no flexibility. If it's a 680. In most cases, it's 680, and 679 doesn't work. So if we get somebody that's really close, a lot of times it doesn't take a lot. You know, if we can just do one little thing, it'll pull them up, and we can tell them what it is, how much they have to pay it down, or what they have to do to get that credit score up.
Right. Well, it affects interest rates on credit cards. It affects insurance companies.
Right.
My homeowner's insurance is a difference on my FICO score, which I take really good care of my house, but my credit's bad. Well, your insurance goes up. So I mean, it really does accommodate a lot of different things. So you really have to be prepared for that. We were talking about infill, and you had some thoughts, Mary, about some of the properties that are out there right now and where they're located. And again, the thought about they can't rent, that was something that... let's talk about that.
With each of our infill houses, we have a deed restriction attached to it where that property cannot be sold as an investment property for 15 years. If the homeowner was to get transferred and there was a hardship case there, we would let them rent it for a small period of time. But the idea of the infill houses is there to be primary residence, and that's the way that we want to keep them. Our mission is to restabilize older neighborhoods, and whenever the primary residents are gone, the neighborhoods aren't at the same quality as they would be otherwise. We have, right now we're in the process of building, I think, 8 units. We have 2 on First Street, and they're almost completed. We have 2 on Idaho Street, and every one of these are in just a little bit different because we're staggering them.
Okay.
We have a twin home that we're building on 9th Street, right about a block from the university. And that's a 2-bedroom on one side and a 3-bedroom on the other. And then we also have the high school house, which is on Grant Street, but because the high school students, we're working as partners with the high school students, that will not be finished until the spring.
Right. Well, you know, we're talking about infill, and what she meant by that, if you came after break, is that some of these areas of town have existing neighborhoods, but a lot was available, and PNHS will purchase that lot from the homeowner, and along with the city, and work side by side, and they'll go ahead and pay the homeowner or the lot owner their value, and then go ahead and build an infill home, and it's a built-on-site home. It's not brought in. It's stick built on site, so it makes a big difference. Larry, what else? Any other thoughts you had? I mean, if not, we'll take a little break and come back. In fact, why don't we? We'll take a break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Thanks.
We've all heard about problems on Wall Street affecting people on Main Street. But if you're in the position to buy a home, you're in a position of strength. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that homeownership is an investment in your future. Affordability has improved and interest rates are still low.
Act now for an $8,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit before it expires December 1st.
To learn more about your local market, talk to a Realtor. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today.
Hey, thanks for hanging in there during the break. Larry, why don't you talk a little bit about the down payment and closing cost loans, where those can be done?
Yeah, the down payment and closing cost loans can be done anywhere in the city of Pocatello.
And that's PNHS, right?
That's PNHS, right.
Anywhere in Pocatello, right? Okay.
Right.
And then the areas, you have?
Well, we have 5 neighborhoods.
Okay.
We have Old Town, Bonneville, Alameda, Whittier, and the College neighborhood. We do have rehab loans where if people own a home and they say they need a new roof or they need new windows or they have an emergency, their furnace goes out or their water main breaks, we do loans on those, but it has to be in those 5 neighborhoods. Okay. We have it set up so that we go by whatever their income is. If there's a medium income for Pocatello, and say if they were 50-cent medium income in Pocatello, 50% of that loan would be at 4%. The other 50 would be 0 interest and deferred until they sold their home. Oh. So that helps people be able to get those homes fixed up and not be in a hardship getting it done.
So you'll be willing to make a loan at 4% in those neighborhoods for someone that needs some rehab, new windows.
Correct.
You know, then if it's an emergency, you'll also do that.
Exactly.
And it's 4% up to their medium income for that area.
Up to their medium income, and then anything, well, I did that backwards. It's their medium income amount is at 4%. Okay. Anything over that is at 0 interest, and it's deferred. And
the 4% is just ongoing on the unpaid balance, like a credit card would be. You can pay it off sooner, but you're only paying it at 4%.
Exactly, and at no prepayment penalties. They can pay them off anytime they want.
What's the term on those loans? How long will you go?
We have those out for 15 years. Okay. That's the term that we have. And usually if they refinance, then those also have to be paid off.
But with a 15-year term, that really keeps the payments down. Keeps the payments
so low. I'm working on one right now where it's $10,000. The people are 60%. Low to medium income, 6,000 is at 4%. The other 4,000 is at 0 interest, and the payment comes to about $39.
Yeah, oh, that's.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that, and I don't think a lot of the people. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that these people that are watching today, because I know there's more than one. Anyway, I'm hoping that they're, talk to your friends and relatives, and if they didn't pay attention, if they weren't watching this particular program, I think it gets viewed more than once. We can certainly talk to Channel 12 and find out. You can get the schedule on that, and also a phone call to Mary at Pocatello Neighborhood Housing or Larry Bell. They can answer those questions for you, or for your friends and relatives. So feel free to do that. It's very, very important. So,
Mary, what's your phone number at PNHS?
232-9468.
And where are you located?
We are on 206 North Arthur. It's right across the street from Pocatello High School gym.
Okay, sure. Well, I want to thank Mary Boyd from Pocatello Neighborhood Housing and Larry Bell from Bank of Idaho for your time and knowledge and experience, and we certainly hope people will make those phone calls and take the time to find out if they're able to qualify. So appreciate you watching today. Until next time, you win the day. Thank you.